Once you officially begin Chapter 7, the remainder of the DLC characters will be available for you to pick up at Planetoon. That being Cave, Falcon, Adult Falcon to be specific, Kay, Mina, and Chica, and Histoire. Kai, or Kay, Mina, and Chica are Last Station, Louis, and Lean Box's oracles respectively, in the same vein that Histoire is Planetoon's oracle in the main series. Which is why Chica is obsessed about sisters like Vert is in the main series, but that's because Chica sees Vert as a big sister, and so always wants to be around her, but Vert doesn't really see it back, which is kind of depressing when you consider the fact that all Vert wants is a little sister, yet the one person who's prepared to see her as a big sister is the one that she doesn't like that way. As for the DLC characters, they're going to be put on the exact same bench the current DLC ones are, and that is they're not going to be used. Which is a shame because they are interesting and fun, but it's just, firstly, they all start at level 1, which is very punishing at this point in the game, but you can build them back up quickly, but it's still like, And Cave, I like that Cave's in this game, just because I like Cave the company. They make some really fun shoot 'em ups with those like really precise, super hard shoot 'em ups, where it's like the top down, you're in the ship sort of thing. Like, they make some really fun ones, and so I always have time for Cave as a company, and I'm glad that the character's in it. It's just a good time all in all. There's a slight cut there, and that was because when I clicked on Leanbox, I forgot it immediately pulls you into a cutscene, because the way Chapter 7 works is that every nation has its own problem. When you click on that respective nation's home base, so like if you click on Leanbox or Last Station Louis or Planetoon, you start their chunk. So now we are starting Leanbox's chunk. I love the freedom of Chapter 7. You can do it in any order you see fit. So with Leanbox's chunk, Vert will join us, and another human character will join the party. This is how they get Tekken, Young Falcon, and CC2, and everyone else basically that we've yet to get slowly but surely into the party. They start introducing them through this by making it that when you go with Vert, another character will join. When we go with Blanc later on, another human character will join. When we go to Last Station to help out Noir, another character will join, etc, etc. And I asked if you gather the materials for the crafting? Well, most certainly. But what that cutscene I just talked over was going on about is Vert found the weapon super quickly. Like, she found like the key ingredients. We're after those 4 key weapons to break in Celestia to take down the goddess. AKA, we're now R4 is treated as a goddess. We're using god-killing weapons on her. But the thing is that the weapon we got isn't compatible, and so Lan Lan is prepared to alter it and make it work for Vert on the condition that we get the materials for her, which is what this dungeon's about. Why do I feel like the wrong traits were copied for Vert? So, where could the materials for the spear be? According to Lan Lan, somewhere in this dungeon. Hey, Neptune! Oh, this voice. Wow, I don't believe we've met in such a place. Are you here for work? Yep, what are you doing here, Tekken? Well, I heard rumours of Lady Vert and HDD roaming around here, so I came to check. All the CPUs are kind of acting strange and causing commotion, so... Lady Vert? My, considering I didn't get any word of this means it must have been slacking. I know, can I tag along? I mean, it was getting a little bit lonely there. Absolutely positively, yes, I was actually going to ask the same. With how I cannot use HDD, that's a lie, it would be helpful if you would join us. Okay, hope we get along well. Yes, same to you. And Tekken has been added. Tech's replacing Compa, because I'm trying to keep it main party. If we have a full party of 4 the fill, I want to use the main 4. So it's like, well, since Compa is worthless, I'm just going to swap Compa out for Tekken. Which you're going to want to do as well, because she starts at level 60. She's... Unless you've been, like, over-grinding, like, over-leveling, she's going to be the highest leveled member right now. So, tag her on. Throw her in the group. Also, I love how Tekken-inspired her costume is. It was, like, the torn-up one side, like, trouser, like, the baggy trousers and whatnot. The rest of her design's a little bit questionable, deliberately so. And as I said before, Mages is my favourite design, but I do like Tekken's design as a whole. And a 10-hit combo is a nice EXE as well, especially if you use the full version during a boss. It's kind of nice. So it's me just rearranging the party, having to dig through everyone. We're not quite at arranged mode levels yet, if you're going with arranged mode and you start the game instead of original, you start with every single character in the game, right? Well, there's still 4 faces that aren't in the game, and that's because the traditional way of unlocking them is still present in this game. So if you go on original, the traditional way of unlocking them is still there. And what I mean is that Netgear, Uni, Rom, and Ram are the only missing members now that we haven't seen. And if you sit and go, well, hang on a minute, what about CC2? Well, like I said, they will be joining when we get to the other characters. At the end of this chapter, you'll have every single playable character, excluding the secret characters, basically. And so, if you're in arranged mode, or if you're playing an original, you're nigh on in equal terms now at this point. So the only thing missing is the Little Sisters, which you get for getting 75% shares in a single nation that isn't Leanbox. Because Vert doesn't have a Little Sister, so it doesn't count. Which is part of the reason why the Oracles exist, because the Oracles are the second game secret characters, and they're unlocked in the exact same way. But because there's an Oracle for every nation, there's now a reason to get 75% or higher shares in Leanbox. Actually, I think it's higher in that game. I think they made it something like 90% you have to do. I can't, because I think like 75% is for one of the endings. So they upped it to like 90% or something like that. And the only reason I'm not sure on that is because I never bothered in the second game. The second game was very draining when you're going for stuff like outside the main path, so I just didn't bother in the end. Because everyone starts, all the extra characters start at level 1 though, you're going to see their levels propel, because we're in the chapter 7 dungeon, and they're level 1. But Tekken as a character, as you may have guessed from what you're seeing, is that she's physical attacks based, but a lot of her physical attacks have elements tied to it, making her kind of unique in that sense, because very few other characters get physical element skills. They'll get magic element skills, which is like hand in hand, you expect that, but very few get physical elemental skills. So Tekken can fulfill a very specific niche in your party if you need her to. So I keep her around for this because the other option is compo, and it's not happening. And it ends up working out just fine for that. And to be fair, if I was playing I had to think for a second, Rebirth 1, my party of 3 would be around the same, just minus Iffy as well. Like, I'd keep Tekken around and make it me, Vert, and Tekken for this chunk. But I will also try and take the opportunity while I can to showcase off their unique EXEs, just because after this chapter, when we go into the chapter 8, which is like breaking into endgame, because there's only 8 chapters in this game, I'm going to be sticking with the 4 goddesses again as the main party. And so the human characters are going to start getting sidelined. But chapter 8 is also where things are going to start mixing up a little bit, as I show off Tekken's normal EXE one. So I'll show a boss variant later. Is that to get the true ending of the game, the others share needs to be at a strong 0, and everyone else needs to be balanced. So you need to be like 25% for everyone else. That is a lot of just doing the same side quest over and over again until you hit it to 0, which will be easy enough because the mini boss that we fought to get Jumping Star, you need to get the AG system for Jumping Star. There's a repeatable quest for killing that thing that like takes away something like 6% or something like that from others. So I can just keep on doing that until others is at 0, and then either do Colosseum fights or go through the side quests of what ones I can do to rearrange the rest so it becomes equal. And then what I can do to show off the normal ending is save before I do it, but that one side quest that I dodged at the very, very start of the game, because it's to do with the first optional dungeon, because it adds 9% to others, so it literally works against you. I will just accept that, do it, and then showcase the normal ending, then load my save and show the true ending. But I'm getting a little ahead of myself yet. In terms of my recording, I need to get better on schedule a bit, because I think it was last week, and there was a point where I said I was running out of footage. Well, I've been distracted with Psychonauts 2, then Genshin, and then Sonic Colors Ultimate. Yeah, I haven't been playing much Neptunia. So this video was recorded yesterday. This was recorded yesterday, and I haven't even started. Like, we're all caught up on footage again. So I'm literally like pressuring myself a little bit to get on top of this, just to get it done. Not to get it done, I mean to make sure a video is ready to be edited together and whatnot the next day. So I need to actually get some time together, probably in the weekend, and just finish this fucking game. Because Tales of Arise comes out soon as well, and then Mary Skeleton Final at the end of the month, and it's like, I'm gonna run out of time, well, not run out of time, but run out of easy free time, and get overwhelmed by the desire to play stuff very soon. But I say that, I'm very on the fence with Tales of Arise. If you've been with this channel a little while, I've brought it up before. I don't like the Tales of series as a rule. I've tried a lot of the games in the series, but I just don't click with the series as a whole. The only exception is Tales of Berseria. I really clicked with Tales of Berseria to such an extent it's now one of my all-time favourite games. And that is the only reason why I'm giving Tales of Arise a chance. Because even though I don't like the rest of the series, and I've never really clicked with the Tales of series as a whole, I really loved what Tales of Berseria did. And so on the off chance that Tales of Arise also ends up ticking boxes for me, I'm getting it. I want to give it a fair shot.
Transformation complete. Now
and so when that comes out on the 10th, I think, I'm getting it. Also, we're approaching, I say approaching, when this comes out it'll be the day of, for my time, the PlayStation Experience thing that's coming up. So I guess I should probably talk about that a little bit whilst we take on this optional boss of what I'd love to see. And to be honest, I know a lot of people love some of the PS5 first parties and yada yada, but I'm not that interested in them. I'm not a big fan of a lot of the AAA industry, as I've said before. I don't get this fascination that some people have with this minute detail and millions of pounds or millions of US dollars spent to make sure that a bottle breaks the right way in an obscure location. As much as what the giant CEOs of the industry keep on saying, that it costs more money, so we need to make games more expensive because it costs more money to make it. It's like, no, it fucking doesn't. You're deliberately making it more expensive to please one or two Twitter jackasses that are gonna fuss about a banana not smashing when you step on it. You know, come on. There's a lot of I'm not a tech expert, but I've done at least dabbled in coding before to know that it is a lot more streamlined and a lot more accessible and a lot cheaper to get into than it ever used to be. Yes, there's still a lot of work to be done, and the super high quality games don't come out for free, but they are a lot easier to make on the cheap than they've been in a very long time. And the only reason they are still being multi-million projects that take forever to make and are super expensive is because of these AAA CEOs that say it has to be photorealistic. Everything has to have complete realism reactions to it. If you pick up a rope and it touches a wall, it needs to graze off it the exact proper way. And it's like, no one gives a shit. It's just time wasting and slowing it down. Stop trying to be realistic with the games. Have fun with them. If all the games I've played on this channel are anything to go by, I always click with games that put fun over realism. It's why I like Uncharted 1, 2 and 3, but don't like 4. Because I felt 4 tries too hard to be realistic, and it just really drags on that game as a whole. And no, deeper compelling story is enough to save the really boring and slow, monotonous gameplay of Uncharted 4. Whilst 1 through 3 are really fun, more arcadey-like, with more energetic stories that make you love the characters.
It's my turn.
That being said, I'm never gonna write off Uncharted 3. As much as Uncharted 1 and 2 I've covered a very long time ago now. The reason why it's been so long, it isn't because I don't want to do 3. I want to do 3 at some point, because I actually have a lot of time for Uncharted 3. I know it's very weak around the edges and has a lot of problems, but I enjoy it for what it is in a lot of ways. So I do want to show it at some point. It's just haven't been in an Uncharted mood for a long while. I think that's the best way to put it. I just haven't been in the mood for Uncharted. I probably won't be until Tomb Raider finally fucking buckles and gives me what I want. The biggest thing I want is I just want to go through the Legend Trilogy again. I want to go through the Tomb Raider Legend Trilogy, but I don't want to do it if they're gonna release this Legend Trilogy HD collection at some point this year. That they keep on fucking teasing, but it keeps on not happening. But it's if that actually happens, then I'll wait for that and jump for that. But I've been eager to go back to those games for a long while because I love that trilogy. I genuinely have so much time for that trilogy. I have a lot of problems with the third game in the trilogy, Underworld, but I still enjoy it a lot.
Unlike me.
As that boss goes down, so all the extra characters are about to jump up in like 10 levels again. 27.
Looks like my level went up.
27. I was just like, oh god, okay, let me just read this. Let's see what everyone got. Kay or Kai, or however you say her name. She has a slightly lower experience threshold to level up than everyone else, in the same way that Red has a slightly lower experience threshold to level up. So don't be surprised if Kay's level starts creeping up a little bit more than the rest of the people in her group. It's just the nature of how she is. Like she doesn't require as much experience. Over here though, you pick up Requiem, which is an amazing weapon for Vert at this stage in the game. It doesn't really like do any favors for her defense. You see, it lowers it by 3 points, but at this stage 3 points it doesn't mean too much for what it buffs everywhere else. So equip that son of a bitch as soon as you can.
Lucky.
Speed Charger, Pink Pigment.
Cannot believe my back.
I decided to keep all these encounters in as well, more so because I know like where I've been cutting most fights, there's a lot of like smaller nuances of like skills that I've picked up that you guys aren't getting to see, and I was like, you know, just for this video and maybe like for a couple videos when we get some of the other characters as well, I'm gonna leave the fights in just for this, even if you're gonna see me racing through them like this, just for the sake of showing off some of the smaller stuff that I don't really show off in this game, because I've been skipping a lot of the repeated encounters, because this game has a lot of repeating encounters. And it's something that, across the whole franchise, it doesn't really get that much better with. Like, it does certainly get a bit better, but I'm not about to say it's going to win any awards with it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't get amazing ever. And it's something that I'd hope, if there was ever a fifth mainline game, they could start working towards. But in the perfect world, we would find out the reason why it's been so many years since the fourth game is because they've been working on the fifth game to make it perfect. And for all this time. Like, you know, like they've put so many time and resources into it to make it like the ultimate Neptunia experience that like is everything it needed to be after the fourth game kind of blew everyone away in for the Neptunia series and really showed what they could do if they put their hearts and mind to it with the series. But I have doubts, and I think a lot of people in the Neptunia crowd have doubts because of just how quiet and almost non-eventful the mainline Neptunia series has been for years. Even ignoring the main line, we've just had spin-offs and remasters since the fourth game.
Lucky.
And as I kind of joked about last time, but it's still kind of a point, the remaster isn't our most high effort of remasters in places. It's got a few cracks that they should have really noticed. You know, like, so it's a difficult one. It really is. Like when you're being a Neptunia fan, to want to be bright for the future, to want to see things be better in the future. Because it's hard to make that judgment call right now, looking at how inactive the series has been, despite the fact it hit a major milestone last year. Last year was the 10th anniversary of the series, and this is pretty much the only significant thing tied to the anniversary we got. I mean, yeah, we got a little bit more news about the NinjaNet game at the time, but that was just a bit of something else that we were working on. Here's a bit of news for it. We didn't get told, oh, there is a fifth mainline game in the works. Don't worry about it. We didn't get said, oh, there's, I don't know, a new book or new anime or new anything like that. It just kind of happened. I mean, we got that one-off. That FMV or whatever it was, you know, like the one-off episode that had Big Nep in it, which I've yet to actually see, to be fair. I don't know if it's any good. I've yet to actually, because I want to watch the actual Neptunia anime through, and I've got it on DVD, so I need the time to sit down and watch it, and I keep on not. But I'll get around to it. But it's just, the whole 10th anniversary has been kind of uneventful. And I was half expecting them to announce, like, Reverse 2 this year for Mark II's 10th anniversary. But they haven't yet. I mean, there's still a few months. Tokyo Game Show is yet to happen. No, Lady Vert, please this way. The town is only a short distance away. I cannot wait for the Butler Cafe. Brothers, what are you doing with the fake? Don't tell me you can't tell the difference between Lady Vert's. Oh, why, isn't Lady Vert in the Girl of Flatness? Girl of Flatness? Do not underestimate us, brothers. We know the lady here is fake. Are you betraying me? Do not be mistaken. We are merely escorting the fine maiden here. Yes, as our second master. Is that what you call betraying? It seems you both need to be taught a lesson. I will not let you harm these two fine gentlemen. So, the fake is now acting like a master. Yes, I am a fake, but as long as they follow me, I am their master to be. How noble for being a fake. You truly epitomize me as my fake. Compa? Doesn't Vert look more like a bad guy now? Nep, even if you think so, you should keep that to yourself. As a fellow gamer, I have let you move about, but I cannot let you go now. I have a mission to go to the Butler Cafe. I cannot lose now. Ah. Well, wait a moment. I haven't changed forms yet. That is why I am attacking now. It's like the green one's like, that's why I'm fighting now, dumbass. I can see through your moves. Tekken. I'll be Lady Vert's shield. Please change, Lady Vert. Do you really think a mere human can stop my attack? Compared to Kuma's 10-hit combo, this is nothing. Thank you, Tekken. That's a lot of sentence I think I thought I'd read in there. When I originally first got into the Neptunia series, not once did I think that I'd read the words, thanks, Tekken. But we got Fake Greenheart, which is kind of like a piece of like your final redemption from the tutorial at the very start of the game. You know when the game opened up and it was us getting whooped by the three other goddesses? Well, now piece by piece, you're finally going to be able to get your revenge as we fight, although not the legit Greenheart, a fake version of the Greenheart. In the same vein, we'll be fighting a fake Whiteheart and a fake Blackheart later on. Fake Greenheart likes to spam Sylphet Spear, which is pretty fucking accurate because that's what your Vert should be doing. Like, it's what works, you know? So I start putting all my buffs into Vert because Nep still can't go HDD. She's still disabled with her HDD because it was stolen and not taken, and not copied even. Which I guess is a nice stipulant. It means that you can't go all HDD on these boss fights. You have to actually manage with human goddesses. Or like normal goddesses even. Which, as I said, the normal characters, like the goddess characters even when in their normal forms, they still have higher stats than the actual humans. Also, use their official terms. I know I always don't. The humans in game industry are called makers. Because all their names are references to, you know, game makers. Like Cave, like CC2, like Marvelous AQL, like Magus, etc, etc. So they're all references to companies, hence makers instead of humans. Whilst the goddesses are called CPUs. And I so rarely end up using the official terminology. I do when it counts, I suppose. Just most of the time I don't. I forget. I just end up calling them the humans and the goddesses because you know exactly who I'm referring to when I say that. If I said makers and CPUs all the time, there'd be some people that jump in late. They'd be like, "What the hell is he talking about?" And here's the other thing. Iffy's best break skill, Spectre Edge, kind of has a long animation, just because he has to charge up when she does do the strike. So every time you're going to see me use Spectre Edge from like this point onwards, you're going to see me just hold down L2 for Iffy's turn. But I rip out another 10-hit combo with Tekken because I was like, this is probably going to be the last time you guys are going to see it, so I might as well use it again. And you realise that as much as I prefer Mage's design, Tech's design is pretty good. Even if in some of the animations, because of how her clothing is so detailed on one side and longer on the other, during her EXE, if you're paying attention, it swaps leg for like a scene because of like the mirror shot that it does.
Just stop it already. I won't let you
Also, have Histoire on assist on someone once you get her, for the love of God, because her assist EXE skill lowers tech. It lowers the enemy's tech as well, so you're getting a debuff while also getting some damage in. So it's actually like a really fucking good like EXE skill to have because it's like one of the very few that actually have debuffs tied to it. Being able to keep on hitting and have debuffs on the side is just such a godsend.
Now's the time to use.
I am ready. Pierce them all. Silhouette spear.
To do another Sylphet Spear? Yeah, you can have that back.
I am Silhouette spear.
Oh. Sylphet Spear to us. Okay. Ow.
I am ready.
Fine, you know what? Have another Sylphet Spear.
Leave it to me.
I'm surprised we haven't like I always remember the other physical skills that Vert gets being a lower level than they actually are in the first game. Because I'm always surprised when I get to this point. I'm like, why doesn't she have things like kinetic slash yet? But no, it's just a genuinely pretty high level to get her other physical skills in the first game. It's in the later games that they lowered it because they realised that making it so she only has Sylphet Spear as a like attacking SP skill for so long is kind of wild. Especially when you compare it to Nep, who's on like 3. And I know like Spiral Break kind of makes up for it because of how ridiculous it is, but still, it'd be nice to have more aggressive SP skills here and there. As we use this to try and get a push more on the fight. Because none of the Fate Goddesses are that hard, because you fought a lot of their ideas, or, you know, fought them through R4 before. And this boss just likes spamming Sylphet Spear, but doesn't have the accuracy that you're likely to have on your Sylphet Spear. See, I just started skipping Iffy's attacks, because I was like, this is going to take forever.
My turn. Hey, who should I take on?
That won't work.
And make sure to keep an eye on the guard points.
That won't work.
I end up not breaking it just to sliver away so I can have everyone else EXE to break.
It's my turn.
I will pierce them all.
It's my turn.
High roundhouse, high
That won't
roundhouse.
work.
I like that a lot of Tekken skills are references to Tekken as well. Like, I mean, I know that probably makes sense, but it's still nice. So there's a lot of skills that are named to like special moves in Tekken. That's probably one of the most blunt references in this game is Tekken's mere existence.
Do I look cool? Level up.
Like, there's a lot of very blunt references in the first couple of games, but Tekken in particular, it's like you look at it and you go, Tekken, huh? Okay, sure. So everyone levels up. Which is another minor thing. They've never cleaned up that level up animation. If loads of people level up at once, you're clicking through every name. Then it doesn't come up with like a list on the side saying these characters have leveled up and like have like a side menu or anything to scroll through. No, you just have to go through every single page individually. It's fine. Looks like he pricked a little bit, but it actually felt a little good. Felt good. Tekken, you're not by any chance a little on the side of masochism, are you? Younger brother, now is the time for us to flee. Yes, Lady Vert should forget if we hide for a few days. Who will forget what in a few days? Ah! Lady Vert, please calm yourself. We did not betray you. Yes, we only escorted that one in the name of the carnal pleasure. Oh. You make it sound as if my value only resides on my frontal aptitude. It is true that we see your bountiful delight, but we did not mean... My, do not worry. I will show you delight. Quite so. Help! So that's what happened. We did get the materials, so here you go. Landline thinks those two deserved it. That punishment looked like it felt good. Okay, now I can start crafting. Where can I craft? Everyone just ignores Tekken, it's like masochism there. There's a facility under the Basilicom. I will have that location ready. Lady Vert, what happened to those brothers? My, they're in my torture chamber now. Torture chamber? Oh, the brother. I can't take any more. For us to play backlog games is too... Hold up, younger brother. We cannot escape unless we finish those backlogs. How much longer will this take? Will it take any other torture over this? But younger brother, do you not think such a game is interesting? Older brother? Now that I have a careful look, you are quite charming in looks. Wait, why are you embracing me? Your face is too close. No, no! Ah! And so, they are saturated in backlog until they repent their ways. Nep, what happened in the scene after that last one? Compra is a good girl, so I don't think you need to know. Those brothers aside, I will head to the Smiths with Lan. Can I help as well, Lady Vert? Yes, please. The more the merrier. And that's the way of Vert and Tekken leaving the party, so we need to go to someone else to help them. And you kind of get a better idea of this chapter, which to be fair is probably the longest chapter in the game because of this structure. As there's a lot more little faces to talk to. Sorry if I've been a little out of it, like not just this video but the past couple, but it's excessively hot here in the UK this week that's gone by. And so I've had my windows open to try and make the most of it, but I am melting right now. And I know my PS5 doesn't appreciate it. Like, I don't like letting my PS5 overheat, because, you know, it's a very expensive piece of kit, and the last thing I want is for it to get hot. And really, it hasn't overheated yet, but it's just that fear, I suppose. Where it's like, when it's like 30 Celsius, the last thing I want is to risk anything. But I'm going to wrap it up here, because I'm just picking up side quests here from the other dungeon that we did, since I didn't really pick much up. And I'm also being wary to look at what side quests I pick up, because there's a lot more others-focused ones. Next time on Neptunia Reverse, I haven't quite decided yet, but we'll either go to the Wheel Last Station. But until then, you guys take care now. Peace.